Okay, we're going to take another stab at AI backgrounds, and I have changed it up a little bit. It is both simplified and complicated. So we're going to do two different versions today. You've got one version that is going to be a basic version, and then there's another one that is a more advanced version. But basically what we're aiming for is what we've got here. So take a look at this. This is our basic version. And all I've done there is create a background, add some audio to kind of give it a bit of life, and that's it. And you'll notice, of course, I took the video from last class and just cut myself out from it. So you can put me anywhere now. You don't have to worry about edges and where the AI goes. It can be everywhere. The other version, the more advanced version, is like this. And I haven't added any audio to this, but the difference is that now we've got layers. So there's something in the foreground, there's the midground, and then there's the background, which is actually a video, another video. So a little more advanced, got a little more life to it. I'm going to ask for this when we also add audio, but I haven't done that here. So how do we do this? Well, to begin with, obviously, we're going to start in Classroom. And there's the instructions here, which obviously I'm going over right now, and one file to download, which is Mr. Lawrence Alpha. Alpha is, in a video, the data is organized by red and green and blue information, and sometimes it has information about see-throughness, and that's called the alpha channel. So red channel, green channel, blue channel, and then an alpha channel. And so that's why this is called Mr. Lawrence Alpha. So you download this and you'll get the little cutout video of me, and it'll look like I'm just on a black background, but anytime you put something in behind it, ta-da, it's actually going to shine through, and it'll be just me on that background. So first up, we've downloaded that, and we're going to go to Photoshop, and we're going to create an AI background. We'll do the basic version first. So we're going to say New File, and we want to tell Photoshop to make it this exact size, 1920 by 1080. That's the dimensions of a high definition video frame. And the rest of it, we don't care about. It should all be fine. We're just going to say create, and we're going to get this. We're going to get a background. So if I want to create an AI background, I'm just going to say Control A, which is to select all, or I can just use this tool. And I've noticed a lot of students doing this, trying to just select the exact corner, right there in the corner, but don't bother with that. Just click way outside. It doesn't matter. It'll automatically just line up with the edges of your picture. So we can be a little sloppy, and it's fine. So I've done the same thing there. I've selected the whole image. I'm going to hit Generative Fill, and I'm going to say a peaceful country lane in the British countryside. A castle sits on a hill in the distance. We'll see what we get. Okay, I didn't quite get what I wanted here, so I'm going to try this again. Okay, I've actually had to change my prompt a few times. I got rid of the whole road idea because that was causing problems. This isn't bad. I can make this work. So British countryside, a castle sits on a hill in the distance. That's what I've got. So I like this. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go File, Save a Copy, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG. And we'll save it to here, where we've been saving things. New video projects. We'll save it in there. And we're going to call this AI background 1. Sure. Say OK. And I'm going to jump back over to Premiere, and I'm going to import that. So I'm going to go to my OneDrive, where my video project folder is. And AI background 1, there it is. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down here past my examples and start fresh. So AI background 1 goes on video 1, and there it is. And then I'm going to take Mr. Lawrence Alpha, this video that I've already brought into my project, and bring me in. So there I am, hovering through the sky. So obviously I need to change the position. Now we should know that from our previous tutorials, how to do this. So I'm just going to take position here, and I can just move it down, sound like this. And honestly, that might be enough. Let's take a look. Now the scale is like right out of whack. I am enormous in this image. Not too worried about that, but if I wanted to, well, no, if I scale myself down, I won't go all the way across the frame. So I'm just going to be enormous in the image. Now, on top of this, I'm going to add some sounds. So I'm going to go to my good friend Pixabay and look for, first I might just want some sound effects like birds singing in forest. Sure, that sounds great. Let's check that out. You know, I'm going to go with this one. I like this one. It doesn't matter too much for this. This is just a demo anyway. So I'm going to go into there, and I'm going to move this by using my cut tool, move it over to my video projects folder, and paste it in, and then back over to Premiere. And I'm going to import that. And in she goes. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that adds a little bit of life to it. Nice. And then I'll use my razor tool, cut that there, and that's there and it's done. If I wanted to add maybe a little bit of wind noise or something like that, just to make it feel a little more present, I could do that. But that's pretty good. And also I could add some music if I wanted to. But that's the same process over and over, so it's not worth going over that again. The next one we're going to do is the more advanced version. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head right back to Photoshop, and I'm going to use this same image, but we're going to jazz it up a little bit. So the way that we're going to do that is the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to Select, Sky. And Adobe's smart enough, hopefully, that it should do a pretty good job of finding the sky. Haha, there it is. And all I'm going to do is delete it. Now, it's going to say, could not update smart object files because the smart object is not directly editable. What that means is we say, OK. I'm going to right-click here, and I'm going to tell it to rasterize layer. It takes it from being a smart layer to a dumb layer. And now I can delete that. Great. Now, the only other thing that's a problem here is that I still have my background. I want to get rid of my background, because what we're doing right now is trying to create an empty space where we can add in a video sky. So I'm going to unlock my background, and I'm going to delete this layer. And I should see, yes, a checkerboard. That means this is now see-through. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a foreground element, something in the front. And this is a little bit tricky, not going to lie, but we're going to give it a shot. So the way we're going to do this is we are going to create, I think we'll just create a new layer, and we'll say, use our lasso, which is a selection tool, and I'm just going to go like this and just kind of draw a shape. Again, I'm going outside the edge of the frame because it just makes it easier. And there we go. I'm just going to say in there, let's say, what kind of trees do they have in England? British trees in foreground. Let's see what that does. Sure, we'll get that one British tree in the foreground, just like that. We've always got options. What else did I get there? Nothing. So I'll use this one. Now the hard part about this is that it's actually tried to blend it in with the other elements in the scene. So I want to select just this. I can use my lasso tool for the next 20 minutes and try that. But first, I'm going to just try my object selection tool. And I'm just going to click on the tree and see if it can find it. Nope, it can't. Ah, there we go. So I drew a box around it with my selection tool, and that did pretty good. Now the thing is, I want to keep this piece. I don't want the other stuff. So again, I'm going to have to make this a dumb object. I'm going to rasterize it. I'm going to select the opposite of this. Where is it? Inverse. Shift Control I, and then hit delete. Boom. Done. So now I've got a foreground element, and I've got this. So this is in front of that. And I can also add some sky. So this, again, this is the advanced version. I know this might be a little bit much to chew on, but we'll give it a shot. Now, the difference here when I save this is I want to save it as a Photoshop file. I do not want to save this as a JPEG because that'll get rid of my layers. It'll smush it all down into a single layer, and all this empty space will also just become, I think, white, which we don't want. So we're going to go File, Save As, and we'll save this again with the PSD format, the Photoshop format, and we'll call this AI background 2. And we'll say save, say OK, and that's done. Back over to Premiere we go. In Premiere, what we're going to do is we are going to import, and the way we do that again is we can go File, Import, or I can just press Control I. That's the way I usually do it. So Control I, and there's my AI background 2. I'm going to open it, and what it's going to say is it's going to give you the option to merge all layers. I do not want to merge all layers. I want to take individual layers. If I merge all layers, I may as well have saved it as a JPEG and thrown out all the layer information. We don't want to do that. So individual layers, click and say, OK. There we go. And it comes in as a folder, and inside that folder, all my layers. So here's my Peaceful Country Lane, which looks black, but don't forget that's just see-through. We're just seeing the nothing behind it. And we've got British trees in foreground, which I'm going to put here. And there it is. So I can turn that tree off and on, and you can see what it does. All right. Now, the thing is, I also am missing a sky. So what I'm going to have to do is actually lift these 2 layers up, because I want to put my sky behind it. So off I go once again to Pixabay to find, I want to find a video first of all, and I'm going to find, let's see, here we go, clouds. Okay, sure, let's try that. See what we find. Okay, I'm being too picky. I'm just going to grab this one and call it a day. Download. I want high def, 1920 by 1080. That's the same size as my video. Download it. And there it is. Don't be lazy. I need to go here. Go to the folder that downloaded into and make sure that goes cut into my video projects folder. So paste that in. There it is. Now over to Premiere. Boy, lots of hopping around with this one. Right, Control I, importing. Is it here? I think that's it. Open it. Boom. There is my sky video. I'm just going to drag it and put it down here, and let's see. There we go. Not a perfect match, but, you know, kind of cool. And again, I rushed it maybe a tiny bit, and that's okay. Now, the only thing missing, of course, is me. So I'm going to I have to put myself in here, so where am I? I am here. Drop that video in there. Make sure this all lines up as much as possible. Let's take a look. So there I am, except I'm in the wrong place again. I'm going to move me down a little bit. That. All right, let's take a look. I think we need to actually make these longer. Okay, wait a minute. I'm in front of that bush. So obviously I need to reorder my videos. So the way I'm going to do that is I am going to just move this out of the way. And I'll put my bush first, and then I'll put me behind it. Remember, it goes from top to bottom. So this is in the front, and then this, and then this, and that. So top, back. Sorry, let me say that again. Front, back. So let's look at that. It should work much better. That guy's a little bit nuts, but that's okay. And it's going to disappear in a second. That's okay too. But there I go, walking behind the tree. So a greater sense of depth, and that's basically it. Now this is a bit short, so again I rushed that part, but it's again just to get across the idea of what I'd like you to do. So on top of that, we'd add some sound and some music if you want, or something like that, just to help kind of set the mood and make it feel a little more interesting. So that's the whole thing. The basic version, really simple. The advanced version, quite a bit more challenging. But in the process of doing this, I'm going to say I think we can all give this one a shot. So let's all try this one out as well, because I think it's going to be a little more rewarding in the end as well. All right, that's it.